Now, my wife Cindy had a really great idea, which was I've been doing this for decades and I've built up a huge array of tools and products, probably 25, 30 grand worth of stuff. What do you do if you're just starting out? So when we get to the end of this session, I'm going to show you a bare bones basic kit. And she also reminded me that I have turned up on set with no tools, a tail comb, a couple of elastic bands, and been able to do a whole 3-day shoot with multiple girls on location. So you don't need as much stuff as you need, but better to have it and not need it than to want it and not have it. So let's start with kit number 1. So this kit here is my basic go-to kit. This is, if I'm taking a one kit to a job, this is my one kit. It has products, tools, and a few basic accessories. If I know it's just standard here, then this is the kit I carry with me. In this segment here is all my products. And I have products from a range of brands and companies, but they're categorized into various segments. And you'll remember from the how to science the product, you'll remember that product categories are preheat, with heat, and post-heat. And we've got products which soften the hair and products which harden the hair. Then we have a bunch of special needs products, special application products. So we've got this transformative styling cream from Orbe, we've got some hairsprays, we've got some mousses and kind of high acrylate products. We've got dry shampoos and texture sprays. My number one texture spray go-to is the Bedhead Queen for a Day, the pink spray as we call it. There's a couple of other things in here which you can't really get that easily. There's some beeswax. The beeswax is really good for hair that you can't use water on, for example, afro hair. We've also got a couple of afro hair specific products that we have in the kit. Jam is one of them. It's a great glossing, no acrylate and no water gel. Then there's this stuff here. This is called Gaffquat. Now Gaffquat you get from like your special effects makeup stores. Gaffquat is the core, basically it's like, imagine having gel on steroids. It's like the core ingredient that's in gel, and you can really shrink hair with it, and once it dries, it locks into place. An example of what you might use Gaffquat for is if you've got hair that's incredibly coarse, curly and wiry, and you need to get it completely flat to the head, locked in place and not going anywhere. Another example of what you might use Gaffquat for is to take a whole weft of hair extensions, slather it in Gaffquat, comb it into a wave shape and let it dry, and then you can pin that on the head as a pre-done finger wave. There's a bunch of stuff in here. We've discussed all of these products in the product section, so I don't want to go too deep into here. In this little mini pocket here, I have stuff that I want to get easy access to throughout the day, and things that are kind of standby. So things like my sun hat, my soft sun hat, which you never know when you're going to go outside and get burnt, and you only learn that one the hard way because you get cooked once and you never want to get cooked again. So I keep a soft flannel hat to keep the sun off my face. The reason it's soft is because it just squishes up and goes in the kit. I also keep a high vis in the kit because, weirdly, you never know when you're going to be shooting on the road and you need to throw on a high vis. So quite easy just to keep that little guy in there. I have this cotton scarf, which I picked up in Egypt on a job. And what I keep this for is to go under my hat and to cover my neck and face on super hot days when we're on location shooting multiple times, and I just simply make myself a little sun, wind and dust protection kit. And there you go, no sunburn. You'd be amazed how often this comes out on set. In here, I also keep a face mask and a couple of spare face masks, given the current climate. It's important to do that, and some cleansing shampoo. So you might not think that you're going to use shampoo, but you never know when you're on a show or a shoot and someone turns up and needs their hair washed. I don't use it very often, but like I said, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I also keep in here a whole bunch of these little plastic face shields. Amazing for slipping under fringes and trimming the fringe so that you don't get hair on the girl's makeup and you don't get hair on her skin that you can't get off, particularly if makeup's done a moisturizing job or whatever. If you're using fake fringes or you're trimming her real fringe, these are a lifesaver. Now, I've got one weird thing in here that often gets picked up and thrown in the bin because most people don't love wire coat hangers. Now, the wire coat hanger, as you've seen in our session on creating movement and energy in the hair, is my go-to tool for doing hair flicks and hair flips. So I always keep a wire coat hanger in this pocket, and if I ever see one lying around, I pick it up because, like I said, they get thrown away. In fact, I was on a big campaign, a big global hair campaign in New York. I was really nervous. I'd never worked with this photographer before, so I got myself super prepared. I went onto the set before everyone arrived and I set up my wind machine, my wafting board, my wire coat hanger, my mason, my hairspray, and I ducked off to go and have something to eat. And when I came back, my wire coat hanger had been thrown away by a very helpful on-set assistant who thought it was rubbish.